Have you ever sat down to study for an exam and felt completely unmotivated even though you knew your future depended on that moment? That quiet battle inside your mind is where discipline is, either built or broken, because motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like a passing wave, but discipline is something deeper, something you construct with intention, something that stays even when you feel nothing at all. During exam season, this difference becomes everything, because the students who succeed are not the ones who always feel ready. They are the ones who show. Anyway, you might think that you need more motivation to push yourself, but the truth is that motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unstable. They change with your mood, your energy, your environment, and even the smallest distractions. Discipline, on the other hand, is a decision, repeated daily. It is the ability to sit down and do the work, even when your mind resists, even when your phone calls, your name, and even when procrastination feels easier in the beginning. Building discipline feels uncomfortable because you are forcing yourself into a new pattern, but that discomfort is a sign of growth, not failure. Every time you choose to study instead of scrolling, every time you complete a task instead of delaying it, you are strengthening a mental muscle that will serve you far beyond exams. This is how consistency is formed, not through bursts of inspiration, but through small, repeated actions that align with your goals. The key is to stop negotiating with yourself when it is time to study. You study. No excuses, no delays, no emotional debates, because discipline removes the need for constant decision-making. It creates a system where action becomes automatic, and once something becomes automatic, it no longer drains your energy. You are not trying to feel motivated. You are training yourself to act, regardless of how you feel. And that is the real power of discipline. It frees you from emotional dependence and gives you control over your actions. When you understand this, you stop waiting for the perfect moment and start creating progress in imperfect conditions, because success during exams is not about how inspired you feel. It is about how committed you remain when inspiration fades. And that is the moment where discipline quietly takes over and carries you forward step by step, even when you doubt yourself, even when progress feels slow, and even when nobody is watching. Because true discipline is built in those unseen moments where you choose effort over comfort, again and again, until it becomes part of who you are. And once it becomes part of who you are, exams no longer feel like a burden, but a challenge you are prepared to face with confidence and control, because you have built the one skill that never fails, discipline itself, which continues, guiding you beyond exams, into life, shaping your habits, your identity, and your future, with strength. As you begin to rely less on motivation and more on discipline, something unexpected starts to happen. Your days become more structured, your mind becomes sharper, and your actions begin to even when you do not feel like it. But this is also the stage where most students quietly fail, because this is where the illusion of progress can trick you into thinking you are doing enough, when in reality, you are only doing what feels comfortable. When discipline is not just about starting, it is about continuing, when the excitement fades. And this is where habits come into play, because habits are the systems that carry you forward when your willpower runs low. Instead of depending on how you feel each day, you begin to design your environment and your routine in a way that forces consistency. You set a fixed time to study. You remove distractions before they remove your focus, and you break your work into small, clear tasks that are impossible to ignore. This is not about perfection. It is about reducing resistance so that action becomes the easiest choice. The real transformation happens when you stop asking yourself whether you feel like studying and start asking yourself what needs to be done next. Because discipline thrives on clarity, not emotion. You create a simple plan, and you follow it without overthinking, and slowly, your brain adapts to this pattern. It starts to understand that excuses are no longer accepted, and action is the only option. But right in the middle of this journey, something difficult appears, a moment of doubt, a wave of exhaustion, a day where everything inside you tells you to stop. This is where the test truly begins, because anyone can be disciplined on a good day, but very few can stay consistent on a bad one. And this is where your solid habits either protect you or expose you. If you have built strong habits, you will continue, even if it is at a slower pace, even if your energy is low, because your system is stronger than your muscles. But if you have relied only on motivation, this is where everything collapses. And you find yourself back at the beginning, wondering what went wrong. The truth is, nothing went wrong. You simply reached the point where discipline was required, and motivation could no longer carry you. This is the hidden challenge of exam season. Not the difficulty of the material, but the difficulty of staying consistent when your mind resists and your energy drops. But if you can push through this phase, if you can show up, even when it feels uncomfortable, you unlock a new level of control over yourself, where productivity is no longer dependent on your mood and progress becomes inevitable, because you have built a system that works for you, even on your worst days. And that is the moment where discipline stops feeling like a struggle and starts becoming your greatest advantage, guiding you through every obstacle with quiet strength and unwavering consistency. When you reach this stage of your journey, something powerful begins to take shape within you. A sense of control that you have never felt before, because you are no longer reacting to your emotions. You are directing your actions with purpose. And this is where discipline transforms from something you force into something that defines you during exam season. This shift changes everything, because the pressure that once felt overwhelming now becomes manageable, and the uncertainty that once created anxiety now turns into focused energy. You start to realize that productivity is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about showing up consistently and giving your best effort in each moment, no matter how small that effort may seem. This is how real progress is built, not through sudden breakthroughs, but through steady commitment over time. And as you continue to follow your routine, your confidence begins to grow. Not because the exams most are getting easier, but because you are becoming stronger. You begin to trust yourself, because you have proven through your actions that you can rely on your discipline, even when things get difficult. And that trust becomes your foundation, allowing you to face challenges with a calm and determined mindset. But there is one final realization that separates those who succeed from those who fall back into old patterns. And it is the understanding that discipline is not temporary. It is not something you use only during exams and then abandon. It is a lifelong skill that shapes your future in ways you cannot yet imagine. That the habits you build now, the decisions you are now, and the effort you choose to give now are all contributing to the person you are becoming. And once you see this clearly, you stop looking for shortcuts. You stop waiting for motivation. And you stop making excuses, because you understand that every action matters, and every moment is an opportunity to strengthen your discipline even further. This is the mindset that allows you to stay productive regardless of how you feel, because you are no longer controlled by your emotions. You are guided by your purpose, and that purpose keeps you moving forward, even when the exam feels difficult. As your exams approach, you will notice something different about yourself. A quiet confidence that comes from preparation, a sense of control that comes from consistency, and a level of focus that comes from discipline. And in that moment, you will realize that the real victory was never just about passing the exams. It was about becoming the full kind of person who can face any challenge with determination and resilience. Because once you have your mindset and your future in ways that continue to elevate you long after the exams are over. And if you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.